Chelsea Football Club give Enzo Fernandez a huge promotion and he's going to become vice captain. But what does that actually mean for one individual within the squad? It means somebody's leaving. It means I'm going to be very happy. Furthermore, Strasbourg and Fiorentina are looking at Petrovic, and we need to talk about what's going to happen with Petrovic, because I actually think he's the man that got the worst end of this whole stick with the managerial changes, and I feel sorry for him. Furthermore, Josh Achampong. Most people have actively told me he is phenomenal. Some people told me Alfie Gilchrist is better than him. But whilst Alfie Gilchrist is going on loan to Sheffield United, Real Madrid and PSG are trying to snap up Josh from our hands. And I'm going to tell you something. Why shouldn't Josh go? You're not going to like it, but I'm going to give you the perspective from the player's side. Forget Chelsea's side. Because we need to be objective when we analyse situations. And finally, a lot of people are worried. And a lot of people are eagerly anticipating for the season to start, but at the same time do not want it to start because they don't want their weekends ruined by Chelsea Football Club. I'm going to give you 11 players that are going to dictate our season. These 11 players, they do their job and they're even good, not even great. We're going to finish top 4. We're going to be very happy this year. And they are integral to anything we achieve this season. And if they play well this year, we will be in a position next year where I'm going to be sitting here and telling you, yo, we can actually mount a title charge. We just need to add 1 or 2 pieces. But before we get to that, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. 1,000 likes go a massive way. The support you lot have been giving me recently is mad, and I truly appreciate that. So let's get started. Enzo Fernandez has returned after Copa America, and everybody knows what happened after this victory of Copa America. We're not going to touch over old stuff. What we're going to talk about is what's happened since. Well, the players made up with his teammates. His teammates have actively come out and made public statements, giving him support, not calling him a racist, and just defending the man. Since then, Enzo Fernandez now has been promoted to vice captain of Chelsea Football Club. This is coming from the Times. Reece James will remain as captain. Enzo Fernandez gets vice captainship. Why is this important? Number one, this wouldn't happen if the players had a problem with Enzo. I think that's the first thing, and that's the elephant in the room we have to say, right? It means the players are happy with it. But the second and the biggest thing doesn't involve Enzo. It means Ben Chilwell is going to get frozen out. Ben Chilwell has had minimal minutes this year. Chelsea are basically telling him, Enzo doesn't want you. If he wanted you, you'd be playing. And the reality is they're doing the right thing. The guy's on 210k a week. The guy isn't good enough to play in this system. Doesn't play as an inverted fullback. Can't play as a centre back. What does he do in this system? Like, where does he fit? Ben Chilwell's issue is his unique selling point was always athleticism. He was quick, sharp, athletic, ability to get stuck in, passion merchant defender. Just did the very thing, like everything to a basic standard. That's why I call him Basic Ben. And the problem is, after his injuries, he's lost a lot of the athleticism. He lost all the stuff that made him great. And he's come back and he's a shell of the player that he is. And a lot of people said, give him some time, let him ease back in. And the more we saw of him, the more we reiterated that this guy's been finished for a while. So Chelsea are going to try to force him out. There is no market for him. I don't know what's happening, but Chelsea are definitely pushing on with the emphasis of getting him out. It's evident. You don't make Enzo vice captain when your vice captain's already there. The next story is regarding Petrovic. So the news is coming out from Nazir Kinsella that, well, Petrovic will be leaving Chelsea. We already knew that, right? We signed Philippe Jorgensen, who looks okay. I'm yet to be convinced, purely based on the fact we haven't seen enough of him. And with goalkeepers, it's very hard to judge him off 2 games. So we're just going to wait, and then we're going to see across half a season. Then we can reassess and take stock. And Robert Sanchez is immovable, right? That contract is horrible. In the NBA, that will be called an untouchable contract. It's one that you can't trade. It's one that no one wants. That it's one where you give pieces of trading chips and no one will take it still. And that's exactly what we have with Robert Sanchez. It is a horrible, terrible contract. It is the equivalent of when the Houston Rockets gave John Wall that contract. And it's actually very simple. But, and this is where the big but comes in. Who lost in this situation is Petrovic. Petrovic was the number 1 at Chelsea. Under Pochettino, he would have been the number 1. And Sanchez and Pochettino fell out. Petrovic played 31 games and believes he's good enough to basically be Chelsea's number 1 this year or be a substitute at Chelsea. Yet, now it looks like Chelsea are going to try sell him or loan him, and this is where it gets interesting. Strasbourg, apparently, according to Nazir Kinsella, have inquired about taking him on loan. However, Fiorentina have done the same thing. Why is this important? Number one, if he goes on loan, he can inflate his value if he has a good season and move on for 19 to 20 million pounds. He signed him for 11, 12, meaning it'll be a nice profit. His book value's gone up. It's the way Blue Co want to work. However, the issue here is we only have 6 slots for international loans, right? And he doesn't want to drop down to a level that he doesn't believe he's good. Like, he's accustomed to life at Chelsea. You need to remember, he thinks in his head he's a Premier League player now. So whereas in the past where he came from the MLS, he would have happily went to a championship. He would have happily went to a team in the mid-table of France. Now in his head, no, I've got the taste of what it feels like to play for a top-level Premier League team. And you know what? I didn't let them down. So I want to go to a good level team. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how we're going to sort it. I don't know who's going to pay that money. It's going to be complicated. It's going to be messy. But the 2 clubs that are coming out now is Strasbourg and Fiorentina. Personally, I want him to go to Fiorentina and get regular minutes and get a move. I don't want him going on loan. I don't want us to delay his career. I think what's happened to him is really unfortunate. It's really annoying that it happened to him, but it's the way it works in professional football. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The penultimate story today is regarding Josh Achimpong. So Josh is a Chelsea Cobham graduate. He's gone on the preseason tour. I think he's played 2 games, and in one of the games against Wrexham, he made a big mistake. Like, it was a mistake that young kids learn from. He won't repeat it in the future, and so be it. You know, like, this is the time to make mistakes. This is where he gets his initial opportunity, and this is where he gets humbled and says, you know what, maybe I'm not ready for the first team at Chelsea, and maybe I need to be a bit more, like, patient. And this is just normal, right? This is how it works. However, the recent article has come out from Miguel Delaney, and in the past this has come out as well. So this is why I'm talking about it, that big clubs are looking at him. Initially, it was Newcastle and Tottenham. Now Miguel Delaney is coming out with the fact that it's Real Madrid and PSG, and they're looking at Josh Achimpong. For me, this is big news because Josh Achimpong is very good. He can play right back, he can play right centre back, he can play in the back 3. He's a very good player, good and neat and tidy on the ball as well. However, there's no pathway for him at Chelsea. And you know, a lot of people are like, oh my God, we're going to lose another Cobham graduate. However, the reality is, Chelsea might lose him for no fault of their own. Because let's think about this, right? At one point in time, we had Tariq Lamptey, Livramento, Reece James, Azpilicueta. Tariq decided he wanted to move on. So be it, we sold him on. We didn't miss out on that one. 6-7 million. We made profit. Came through the academy, brilliant. Livramento, on the other hand, well, he wanted to stay. However, Chelsea were linked with Hakimi, and then Tuchel said, no, Azpilicueta staying, he's not getting sold. James is there. There was no room for Livramento. Livramento went on to Southampton. Now he plays for Newcastle. Chelsea altogether in the package got 20 million for it. There was no pathway. I guarantee you, if James didn't exist, or if Aspi didn't exist, Livramento would still be at Chelsea because the talent is so evident. Now we're in a similar predicament, and the reason I say it's a similar predicament is because we've got Reece James, we've got Malo Gusto. Where does Josh fit into this scenario? So what the arguments I've heard today is, well, James always gets injured. Gusto's, only can play 60, 70 minutes. He can't play every minute. Let Josh play at the right centre-back. At the moment, right centre-back, right back, it makes sense. You know, Conference League minutes here and there, bench appearances, brilliant. But it's going to get to a stage in 18 months' time, after this year's over and the next season starts, where his renewal is going to come up. And the club are going to sit down and say, okay, look, we want you to re-sign. He's going to say, okay, but where is my guaranteed minutes? Where is my pathway? Real Madrid are offering me this money. PSG are offering me this money. What are you going to offer me? What pathway do I have? We can't look him in his eyes, realistically, if we're honest, and tell him, oh yeah, James is going to be moved on, or Gusto is going to be moved on, because the fans are going to be fuming. I'm going to be fuming. So what do you do with Josh? It's not as simple as loan him. Because if you loan him, he comes back, he wants to play. I think that's the problem what you have with young players and integration of young players. It's not that Chelsea will sell him because, oh my God, it's pure profit. Yes, most probably they're going to rub their hands together and say pure profit. But sometimes huge luck plays into it, and it's a huge factor. Is there a gap for you? Is there a moment that you can come through, and when you come through, you take your chance? At the moment, it hasn't been a good start for him. He came in against Wrexham, and where George looked good, he looked poor. Meaning, next time, Maresca's going to be a little bit more hesitant. So, it is what it is, but I would not blame him if he looked at PSG or if he looked at Real Madrid. That's just my personal opinion. Finally, I want to talk about this because I tweeted this and a few people reached out. Matisse reached out, and you know what? Some people agreed with me, some people didn't. What I think is, right, next year is a huge season for Chelsea. I think we can all agree with that, right? It's massive. We have to get back in the top 4. I don't even think it's we must do our best. It's we have to. There is no debate. But this only happens if 11 players, in my opinion, or 12 players on my list, are going to be in a position where at the end of the season, we look back at it and we go, you know what? Yeah, we had a good season because this player played well, this player's improved, this player's improved. And the 12 here are the integral ones, right? I think the goalkeeper, Philippe Jorgensen, needs to work out. There needs to be a situation where we're talking about him the way Spurs were talking about their manager, their goalkeeper after they signed him. I think this is a must. It's a non-negotiable one. A poor goalkeeper does not help you get top 4. If he plays well, we're going to be fine. The defenders, I think Cucurella is going to have a great season. James and Gusto together need to have a good season. I don't see a world where they both play consistently, but I do see a world where they both play good minutes, right? Not every single week, but they'll be balanced, there'll be rotation. In the centre half position, I think Colwell and Fofana have to have good seasons. Fofana's good season is a little bit more difficult because I don't think he's going to play much. I think he's going to play 20 games because I think we're going to slowly reintegrate him in. Colwell has to become Brighton Colwell at a bare minimum. There can't be Colwell last year. It can't be that level. It's not good enough. It's going to have to be the guy that everyone saw at Brighton and was like, yo, this guy's sick. It has to be of that level. The midfield, Enzo, Caicedo, and Lavia are going to have to develop and become players that we expect. Like, they're going to have to be ready tomorrow. I think from preseason, they're the ones that I'm not worried about. Like, I've seen enough of Enzo in preseason to say, yeah, he's going to be fine. I saw enough of Caicedo last year to know that he's going to be fine. Lavia has super impressed me. The forward line is where we get into a situation where if these 4 bang, we're going to be 4 for 3rd. Like, we're literally going to be like, oh my God, happy day. Because Cole Palmer needs to not do what he done last year, because I don't think it's fair, but I think do 70% of what he did last year. If Cole Palmer gets me 12 league goals this year with 10 assists, I'm going to be very happy. Furthermore, Raheem Sterling needs to step up. Raz, I need at least 10 league goals from you this year, man. I need you to be the guy that you are, because with your salary, with what you demand, with what you're earning, I'm meant to be getting 15, 17. Christopher Nkunku, bro, this is the year where he needs to return 15 goals in the league, non-penalty, because he's going to play and he's going to be in and around. There's going to be a lot of chances for him. He's going to get the minute. Obviously, if injuries happen, it goes down as a bad season. And the final one is Nicholas Jackson. Yo, Jackson got us, what, 14, 15 league goals last year? If Jackson maintains that or even kicks on, that's another good season. If a bunch of these players have good seasons, we hit top 4 comfortably. It won't even be a debate. I'm not saying they need to be great. I'm not saying they need to put record numbers up. I'm just saying be good. If they're good, it's going to be good enough to get top 4, because this is how good I think this squad is. I'm not looking at Badia Shile. I'm not looking at the Sassy. I'm not looking at Tosin. I'm not looking at Kieran Drewsbury, who Carney Chukwemeka, Mudrik, Noni. I can't count on them yet. I don't feel like they're the players we can count on yet. They're the ones that are, if they're good, this is a bonus, because the others should be good too. You know, the others should be good, and then you're good now, and all of a sudden we have good squad. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things. However, we just need to see how the season pans out. Enzo Maresca needs to get the best out of these players. I think he will. I'm really excited for the season. But this was the Kavkas View. I hope you lot enjoyed today's content. It's a little bit different to what we do normally. I thought I'd give you a little bit of news and then give you some of my thoughts. In the comments below, let me know. Did you enjoy the last segment where I spoke about what I'm thinking about the season, and less so about news and more about my own opinions? Are you enjoying that aspect? If you do, drop a pineapple. If you don't, tell me, bro, we prefer the news. And I'll get that. So hit the like button. Peace out. I'm out. Have a lovely day. Bye.